e-mobility has a transversal dimension to it, and therefore cannot be treated separately in the development of a sustainable urban mobility plan. When the electrification of transport is a major component of an SUMP, it can touch upon several objectives and be present in many measures. Thus, developing a separate e-mobility strategy can be extremely useful to gather all relevant SUMP measures directly. The city of Barcelona has long been a frontrunner for the promotion of electric vehicles and a benchmark model for other cities. The city has prepared an electric mobility strategy to be implemented from 2018 to 2024, which includes a variety of ambitious targets and actions to develop electric mobility in the city. This planning document makes clear reference to the local SUMP and how e-mobility can help in reaching its goals. It is a great example of how a separate strategy serves as a complement to the existing SUMP, follows the same principles, and aims at clearly identifying measures that are contributing to similar objectives, which will require the involvement of the same stakeholders and have a potential for synergies. The strategy highlights that electric mobility and the electrification of vehicles is a necessary measure to improve air quality, but it is not sufficient to improve the quality of living in the city per se. It goes further by stating that the promotion of electric mobility is, however, indispensable to achieve the objectives of Barcelona's SUMP, particularly in relation to the following transport services which must be electrified: collective transport, delivery, taxis, private and shared vehicles, motorcycles, and bicycles. The idea behind the plan was to help leverage the transition of Barcelona towards sustainable mobility and towards zero emissions, ultimately to maintain its position as a leading city in electric mobility. This follows an evolutionary and non-static logic, which is adaptable to the social, economic, and energy market changes, which also includes intermediate targets to assess its deployment, but also to allow for course correction if that is considered to be needed. Some of the targets focus on 2024 as a milestone. For instance, by then, the aim of the city is to have 80% of its municipal fleet electrified, which will mean that they will have 100 e-buses and 800 electric taxis. The same plan also aims to increase the number of private vehicles, namely electric cars and motorcycles, to a total amount of 24,000. This target in specific really shows the level of ambition of Barcelona's plan. When it was initially drafted, the number of electric vehicles registered in the city was actually below 2,000. So here we're talking about a 22,000 difference. The goal is also to increase the share of electric vehicles in the public transport fleet from 35% in 2018 to 80% in 2024. Several measures are planned to achieve these targets. For example, the city will promote the use of private EVs by tripling the number of public charging points, as well at underground parking spaces with free access to electric vehicles. Secondly, this plan sees public procurement as being essential to increase the municipal electric fleet. The public procurement regulations and policies, which have been adopted by the municipality, stipulate that electric vehicles will be used for the renewal of the fleet wherever this is possible. The plan also foresees cooperation with school and tourist buses operators to identify measures to promote electric vehicles and to allow for the possibility of offering subsidies for electric vehicles, such as road taxes and toll discounts as well, among many other measures. An additional interesting initiative within the scope of this electric mobility plan was the creation of the LIVE platform. The LIVE platform is a public-private mechanism, platform bringing together entities that work to promote sustainable mobility. It intends to foster citizen uptake of low-emission vehicles through projects which have mobility at its core. The platform also includes information on subsidies for purchasing electric vehicles, as well as locations of charging stations across Barcelona and the region of Catalonia. All in all, the Barcelona practice shows us that going a step further in developing an e-mobility specific strategy should be done in tandem with the overall goals laid out in the SUMP, which has already been developed. This way, it can reach its full potential and it can help achieve the ambitious results which are behind it. Thank you.